Today, we want to introduce something about Michelin stars restaurants. As shown in the two graphs, it demonstrates that the development level of Michelin restaurants in different countries. The first chart indicates that the top 10 countries by the number of Michelin 3-star restaurants all over the world in November 2017. On the whole, among these countries, 4 of them are in the eastern countries while the other counterparts are in the western countries. Among them, Japan has the most 3-star Michelin star restaurants in the world. According to the charts, Japan has 28 3-star restaurants, narrowly ahead of France's 27 3-star restaurants. The United States comes third with 14 altogether. It is evident that other countries are lagging far behind the top 2. The second bar graph shows how many Michelin stars per million people in the areas covered in a country. Japan also wins the first place, which has almost 28 stars in their country for per million people. Therefore, it has shown that not only are there a number of Michelin star restaurants in Japan, but they are also quite intensive. In contrast, France is only 5th place in the chart of Michelin star per million people. Therefore, it is reasonable to presume that, although France have gained 27 3-star restaurants, but they disperse in low density. It seems a stereotype that when it comes to cooking, Western restaurant wins the most awards. Nevertheless, Japan's position at the top of the two ranking lists have proven that Eastern restaurants can also win the most Michelin 3-star restaurant in the world. Why Japan occupies the top 2 ranking lists in the world? It can be explained by 3 reasons as follows. In the first instance, economic foundation. Japan's GDP ranks the 3rd in the world. Consumption power cannot be underestimated. Japan's tertiary industry is particularly developed, which accounted for more than 17% of total GDP. It goes without saying that the development of catering industry is thriving. Take Tokyo as an example. There are approximately 130,000 registered restaurants there. The amount is more than 10 times than the ones in Paris. Therefore, the well-preserved catering industry promotes the progress of excellent restaurants. In addition, cultural factors. The Japanese cherish traditional culture and they are also adept in learning from essence of foreign cultures. This is also evidently reflected in the diet. Furthermore, not only does Japan have not experienced cultural destructive events in history, but the inheritance of traditional culture is also well preserved. Additionally, many famous Japanese chefs have developed themselves into their culinary art for decades. Of course, the Japanese keen interest in delicacy is also an important reason. Chefs and diners complement each other. What's more, a philosophy of Japanese cuisine is simple and exquisite, which may resonate strongly with Michelin's judges. Last but not least, although the Michelin Guide itself is a relatively independent piece of business, and it does not aim at profitably, but as a company, Michelin of course had its business considerations. Japan is its first stop entering Asia. The 2020 Michelin Award stars to 30 restaurants in Taiwan, 4 in Taichung, and 26 in Taipei. Taipei includes 1 restaurant with 3 Michelin stars, 6 with 2 Michelin stars, and 19 with 1 Michelin star. A Cantonese restaurant named Le Paris, which with 3 stars, in the highest rated restaurants, not only in Taipei but also in Taiwan. Restaurants in Taichung begins being reviewed by Michelin in 2020. At the top of the new Taichung list is JL Studio with 2-star rating. In addition, there are 3 eateries have received 1 star in Taichung. Andre Zhang, an extraordinary Taiwanese chef, is the chef owner of 2 Michelin stars and one of the world's top 50 chefs.
Hello, I'm Zhang Zhenchen, Andre Chang from Raw.
Andre Zhang was born in Taiwan, but spent his early life in Japan, where he learned to cook from his mother. And having longer experience he found that he was thirsting for learning French cuisine. Accordingly, André Jean moved to France. He spent 15 years living there and gained a position at 3 Michelin-star restaurants. Over the course of the 9 years, he worked his way up to the position of chef de cuisine. At the age of 20, he gained the fame of Taiwan's youngest French restaurant chef.
We want to announce that my retirement of Restaurant Andre and also the closure and next year.
In 2018, he decided to return to Taiwan without any hesitation so that he can focus and promote Taiwanese food culture. In an interview with CNN, André Jean mentioned, "Being a Taiwanese, I feel the responsibility to have something in Taiwan to redefine our generation of Taiwanese flavor." Accordingly, he came back to Taiwan to continue his new project regarding Taiwanese food culture and flavors. As far as I'm concerned, the experience of André Jean tells us that proficiency comes from diligence. A deed is done through thought. The class not only gave us a chance to learn about Michelin-star restaurants, but also stimulated our interest in English composition and culinary culture. This class is one of the greatest classes I have ever taken. It is engaging, thought-provoking, challenging, and fun. I have gotten a much better understanding into both Michelin-star restaurants and André Jean. Thanks for your attention.